The WNBA is facing a crisis, and it centers on its biggest star, Caitlinclark. News broke that Clark will miss both the upcoming three-point contest and the WNBA All-Star Game in Indiana due to a re-aggravated groin injury. This isn't just disappointing news for fans, it's a massive blow to the league's momentum during a critical time. Clark had previously missed time earlier this season with a groin injury, and despite returning to help lead the Indiana Fever to a win over the Connecticut Sun, she tweaked the injury again in the final minutes of that game. Her absence this weekend is not only a loss for fans and for the Indiana market, it's potentially catastrophic for the business and growth trajectory of the WNBA. To understand the full impact of this, you have to look at the context. Right now, the WNBA is in the middle of collective bargaining agreement, CBA negotiations. The current agreement expires in October 2025, and with labor talks already tense, the league can't afford to alienate its players or lose its star power. Caitlinclark, who has already brought unprecedented attention and ratings to the league, was supposed to be the centerpiece of this weekend's All-Star festivities, an event that's also being held in her home state. But instead, she'll be on the bench, watching from the sidelines, due to an injury that many argue could have been prevented. That prevention question is where the controversy really starts. Critics say the WNBA has failed to protect Clark from overly physical play and poor officiating all season. Whether it's missed calls, inconsistent refereeing, or outright fouls not being punished appropriately, the pattern is clear. Clark has taken a beating this season. And it's not just fans who've noticed. NBA Commissioner Adamsilver has openly expressed concerns about how Clark is being treated in the league, a rare and telling move from the head of a partner organization. His words are more than just polite concern. They're a warning that the NBA is watching closely and may not continue backing a league that can't protect its most important players. Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, the top executive in the WNBA, has come under intense criticism. Despite Clark's record-setting performances and her undeniable role in growing viewership, Engelbert has been accused of downplaying her significance and failing to step in when officiating gets out of hand. Sports journalists, fans, and even former players have all pointed out Engelbert's hesitancy to speak directly about Clark, often lumping her in with other rookies or diverting attention away from her. That kind of leadership, if you can call it that, sends a dangerous message that the league is unwilling or unable to stand up for its stars. Let's talk numbers for a moment. National TV ratings for WNBA games featuring the Indiana Fever have dropped by over 50% since Clark's injury. Games that once drew over 1.8 million viewers are now struggling to pull in 800,000. Betting activity around Fever games has also plummeted, falling nearly 50% in Clark's absence. This is more than a player missing a few games. It's millions of dollars in lost revenue. And what's worse is that it's avoidable. Clark's injury issues didn't start in college. She played every game, and her durability was one of her strengths. But now, under the WNBA's watch, she's been sidelined multiple times in her rookie year. When one of the most physically resilient athletes in women's basketball suddenly becomes injury-prone, that's a red flag. Sports doctors and analysts have warned that the nature of Clark's injuries, groin, quad, repeated strain, suggests something deeper, likely caused by physical overuse and repeated contact during games. If officials aren't calling obvious fouls, and if the league isn't stepping in to hold players accountable, then it's not just Clark's health at risk. It's the future of the WNBA. The officiating problem has reached a boiling point. In one recent game, the Fever and Sun racked up multiple technical fouls, ejections, and flagrant calls. Yet officials failed to control the game from the beginning. Even WNBA legends like Rebecca Lobo have criticized the officiating live on air, noting obvious fouls that go uncalled. Fever head coach Stephanie White hasn't been silent either, calling the treatment of her players egregious and disrespectful, and accusing the league of ignoring long-standing concerns about inconsistent officiating. These are not minor complaints. This is a systemic problem that has persisted season after season, ignored by leadership. And the most outrageous part? Officials in the WNBA aren't even full-time employees. Many split their time between the WNBA and college basketball. They're paid per game, and as a result, there's no incentive for consistent, high-level performance. That's unacceptable for a league that's projecting over $1 billion in revenue this year, largely thanks to Clark's impact. How can a professional league allow such a critical role to be filled by part-timers? When the stakes are this high, the standard has to be higher. The business implications are clear. Clark's presence alone has lifted WNBA ratings to record highs. Her games have accounted for nearly every top-rated broadcast this year. ESPN has seen viewership spikes of over 170%. The WNBA hasn't seen this level of attention in over 2 decades, and it's all centered around one player. But if she can't stay healthy, and if that's due in part to officiating negligence, the league is on the verge of wasting its golden opportunity. Fans are taking notice too. Online petitions are calling for officiating reforms. Social media is filled with clips of Clark being fouled without calls. Even her own family members have posted frustrations, blaming the referees for her injuries. This isn't just a sports issue, it's becoming a public relations disaster. And with the All-Star Game being branded entirely around Clark, her face on the banners, murals on hotels, promotions across the city, her absence is not just symbolic, it's humiliating. Now factor in the labor tensions. With a possible lockout looming and players already vocal about fair compensation and treatment, this kind of crisis couldn't come at a worse time. If the league can't keep its biggest star healthy, how can it demand more from players in negotiations? How can it promise revenue sharing when the revenue is directly tied to one player's availability? The path forward is clear. The WNBA must address officiating standards, take player safety seriously, and invest in full-time, professional referees. More importantly, league leadership needs to stop hiding behind PR statements and start actively supporting its stars. Cathy Engelbert's current approach, minimizing the problem and deflecting responsibility, is not sustainable. The future of the WNBA depends on getting this right. Caitlinclark has brought the league to new heights. Now it's up to the league to make sure she stays there. Otherwise, all the momentum, media deals, and fan growth will vanish just as quickly as they appeared. The message from Adamsilver is loud and clear: fix it, or risk everything falling apart.